Alright, yo, let me see. Let me check it. Let me see who on this joint. Ain't nobody here yet. Let's see. Microphone check, mic, microphone checker. Microphone check, mic, microphone checker. Hold on, let me see. Get people a chance to get up in this joint. Hey X, can you go and check go check Twitter, make sure we good to go on Twitter. Miss J, can you go check Rumble? Make sure we good to go on Rumble. Um, see what's going on. I see some of the homies pulling in. All right, I see Miss J in here. Um, yeah, who we missing? Where the hell is Paige ass at? 1, 2, 3. All right, yeah. Let me get a quick sound off right quick. Wasi, you here, bro?
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. X, you in the building, bro? You X? You hear X? Maybe he's somewhere where he ain't got no, what you call it. Jamila, you here? Sound off.
Present.
All right, cool. Ethan, sound off, brother.
Aware. What's up?
All right, cool. Let's see who just popped in. Page, nice and late as usual. Like the sound off page. Let me see. Let me hear your microphone.
I thought this started at I don't really know what time, but you didn't say anything on Clubhouse, so I was just over there chilling, waiting.
Like I said, late as usual. All right, let's see what's going. Yeah, let me check Twitter. Make sure we're good to go on Twitter. I think we're live. Oh, yep, we live. All right, cool. Live on Twitter. Sweet. Let's see who we missing. Let's get our homies. Hey, yo, what's going on, Eureka? I see you. All right, what's up, Diamond? I see you. I see some of the homies starting to get up in this joint. All right, y'all. Y'all can start sharing the joint up. Let everybody know where we at. You know what I'm saying? Share it up. Let everybody know where we at. Share it on Clubhouse, Twitter. Send the YouTube link to your people. All right, let everybody know where we at. Big ups to the homies on Rumble. I think Miss J said Rumble is live and good to go. All right, good stuff, man. You know what? I think there's a good time. There's a good time. I think everybody nice and chill today. X, you still ain't checked in, bro. You here? You back yet? Nope. What the hell's that? He got on goggles in his PTR. Was he swimming? Is that what that is? Did Mr. Sterling take him swimming? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what that looked like? Am I wrong?
I thought he was just cooling, bro. I thought he was just, looking cool, like somebody out the 80s.
Nah, that's
Oakley.
uh,
It look like goggles to me.
those look like swimming glasses, bro.
It look like
It look,
Isaac Hayes a little bit.
it looked like he ain't got on no shirt.
He might
Nah,
have got them goggles from your boy. He got gifted.
Gifted where?
The glasses, man, they come in all
No, I'm
shapes and
saying
sizes.
from gifted from who? Did he just leave?
The universe, bro. The universe.
Did
He
he just
said we gotta
leave?
relax. He said we gotta relax, man.
Uh,
We
uh,
gotta relax like his shades. We gotta
He
be
might
cool.
have just got the Dick Gregory's. You feel me?
those ain't no Dick Gregory's, bro. My man look like
You
naked Morpheus. What are we
you
doing?
don't know. You don't know what everybody's glasses look like. Why you don't know?
Yo, tell me
You
those
know
on
that
the
accessories come in all different shapes and sizes and colors. Now stop it.
look. I see the man's glasses. I'm wondering what the hell is going on with them joints. I know I ain't the only one wondering.
Them look like the DGs, man.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Boy,
the
I'm
bees
250
knees.
yards, bro. I am officially a swimmer.
See, I told you those were swimming glasses.
Yeah, he got
I
the
told you.
DG water. He got the DG water versions. What is we doing?
Man, he said he's officially a swimmer. How you officially become a swimmer? Like, what the hell? What is that?
Do something you don't want to do, but you decide to do it anyway because it's gonna make you great.
He officially a swimmer. Oh God. Here we go. All right, here. You know what? Since let's do a little something, man. I want to say what's up to everybody, man. How y'all feeling? Yo, it's this. So I'm almost to the point where this is a regular thing for me. My body still ain't got used to it yet. Like when we do the Wednesday and the Friday shows, my body just knows it's time to get busy. I ain't got there yet with Mondays yet. So this is only the 5th show. So, y'all gotta forgive me if I ain't quite in mode. But it's all right, man. I'm getting here. I'm getting my process down. What I'm figuring out is every week I literally have to go and create a stream on Rumble. Like I can't, like it's not an automatic thing. So that thing is wild. So Rumble is a whole new thing. Like it's its own separate thing. So, but it's cool. So yeah, every week I gotta go in and create it. So it's getting a little bit more seamless, man. Getting a little bit more seamless. So I'm trying to get the process down for kind of integrating all the different platforms. Like I said, we live on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter right now. I want to appreciate everybody in YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter land for joining us and hanging out with us. So this
Well,
is
how do
this
we
week
get
5.
there?
How do we get where?
Like on Rumble
Oh,
or
okay.
YouTube?
So YouTube, for those who don't know, if you on YouTube, then but yo, it's 10-4 Family on YouTube. 10-4 Family, that's the name of the channel on YouTube. Yo, find us and subscribe to that joint. On Twitter, 10F Cookout, TINF Cookout. That's where we at on Twitter, TINF Cookout. Okay, and on Rumble is just 10-4 Fam. So those are the different channels on the different platforms. If you're on one or all, subscribe, please, and thank you. All right, so just a little bit about what we do. We do a podcast on Wednesdays and Fridays. So the podcast is called Conspiracy Cookout with the 10-4 Family. Yo, how I'm up here screaming? I didn't got the banner going. All right, so the podcast is called Conspiracy Cookout with the 10-4 Family. And you guessed it, we are the 10-4 Family, your favorite conspiracy cousins. So it's like being at the cookout with your cousins and the ones that be sitting around talking about all the crazy stuff. Like that's us, right? We the people that, your auntie be like, girl, I don't know about them. Like they just be talking that stuff. Like I don't. They just need Jesus. Like we the cousins that your grandma say need Jesus. Like that's us. All right. So if you one of them or you just like hanging out with them people, man, feel free to pull up a chair and grab a plate, get some of this good cooking. All right. So Wednesdays, that's Conspiracy Cookout. That's a really structured format. Fridays, 10-4 is 10-4 hat time. Different format, same 10-4 Family, but you can find everything in the podcast like on iHeart, Apple, Google, Amazon, Spotify. Like you can find us in all those different places. That's what a podcast is. So if you like the stuff that we do here, right, go check out the podcast. It's a much longer, much more detailed version of it. A whole lot more stuff going on. All right, so we do this just to kind of give you guys a sampling of what we got going on. So appreciate y'all for hanging out with us, man. All right. Yeah, so that's that. You can always send us a message on Twitter. Yo, if you listening, you're like, hey man, I like y'all be live, y'all wilding. Send us a message, let us know what's cracking. You can hit us up on Twitter or you can hit us up at the email, ptruthoutreach@gmail.com. ptruthoutreach@gmail.com. That's the email address. You can hit us up at that joint. Please and thank you. Let's see. I think that's about it. But yeah, so there go Marty. Marty, you late, bro. Why you so late, bro?
I ain't trying to hear that shit. Check the chat.
Check the chat.
Nigga, we was in a whole room together. No, Marty, hey, we about to start. I just look around. I'm like, bro, what's going
That's
on?
what I said, Marty.
Not y'all ain't even making it 5 minutes.
Bruh, swear for goodness. Y'all gotta relax. And dude, did y'all didn't get the notification when I scheduled the clubhouse room that say we going live and it had 10 o'clock and all that good stuff?
You know that app don't work in our favor no more.
And when it does, you know the time you put up there is not always the time you go on. So don't do it.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of Negro splaining right now. That's all right. Yeah, so yo, hit us up. Yo, if you want to send us an email just to say what's cracking to the fam, is ptruthoutreach@gmail.com. All right, so let's go over what we're gonna do today. So today we're gonna do some quick hits. So we got some quick hits we're gonna get into, and then we're gonna get into the main cook, right? So hopefully before Ali might give us some nigga news, maybe depending on if he decide to relax. All right, so we're gonna do quick hits, maybe nigga news, depending on Fee, and then we'll get into the main cook. The main cook tonight is, you know what? A couple months ago, I did a breakdown on the Trump indictments, right? And so what I found is that people hear about Trump being indicted this, going to jail, that. And what's going on in the courts and all these. He got over 100 indictments and cases in New York and Georgia and Florida, but people really didn't understand the specifics of it. And so I literally took some time to break down the specifics of the Trump indictments. And I think a lot of people got value from that because it was something that's in the mainstream lexicon that's always talked about and touted about, but nobody really knew the specifics of it. So I think we're going to do the same thing today. So since I was a kid, people have been talking about peace in the Middle East, right? Y'all heard that too, peace in the Middle East and Middle East this and what's going on this, right? But I bet if I asked, 20 people, 20 American citizens, what does it mean? What's the source of the conflict? Who's fighting? Why are they fighting? Maybe one could tell me, can give me an accurate representation of what's going on. And so the fact that I want my people, right? And if you're listening right now, I consider you one of my people. I want people that are with us to be informed. So we can't be running around here talking all this crazy stuff and not be informed. So yeah, we saying that the earth is flat and there's all these hoaxes and we ain't never went to space and giant viruses don't exist. Like we say all this crazy stuff, but we got to be the most informed people because when we talk, we got to talk facts and we got to know history and we got to know what's going on. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take it can't be a slow walk because I ain't got that much time, right? So I'm trying to stick to the schedule. I'm trying to have y'all out of here within 2 hours. So, but we're going to take a nice little. We're going to take a brisk walk, a brisk stroll down history, and so we can kind of lay down or look and see exactly how we got to where we got to with what's going on over in Palestine. Okay, so that's the main cook tonight. Okay, so we're gonna take just a historical look at the context surrounding all the stuff that's going on in Israel and Palestine. All right, cool. Any questions about that? So we're gonna do a couple quick hits, see what's cracking in the news, and then we're gonna kind of switch on over to that. All right. Cool. Anybody got any questions? It's all right. We in the chat, man. So if y'all can if y'all got questions or something as we're going along, feel free to hit us up in the chat, see what's cracking. I got people monitoring the chat on Rumble. I got my resident Rumble Rebel expert. I got my I think X might be monitoring Twitter. All right, but you know, we're on YouTube. We got the chat going too. What you say, C? If Trump is found guilty, he cannot run. No insurrection. They have to prove that he tried to overthrow, insurrection, treasonous actions. Yeah, your spelling is atrocious, my man. So, in order for him to not be able to run, I think he has to be found guilty of like treason or something. So, all of that shit about the shit about the Stormy Daniels stuff, that ain't gonna do it. It's got to be like treason. You can't just being found guilty of crimes and shit don't disqualify you from running for president. It's got to be shit that's like high crimes and misdemeanors, like treason, insurrection, shit like that. Then yeah, but I think the court already ruled that they can't kick him out, like because I think one of the congressmen was trying to pull that he shouldn't be able to run crap, but yeah, I don't think that worked. All right. All right, here before we get started, let's go ahead and check in with the sponsors. Let's see what we got. Let's do this one. Hold on, y'all tell me if y'all can hear it. Hold on, y'all know I'm still getting used to the channels and stuff, right? So y'all got to work with me on this one. So make sure
Blackest
y'all
uniform
can hear
has gear for every occasion. Fellas, if she stays walking off.
Y'all hear that? Y'all can hear that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Off with your hoodie, you need to cop the "Give Me My Hoodie Back" just to send a message. And speaking of messages, let the world know your sweatpant game is strong with your major looks. And don't forget the most versatile piece in the wardrobe. Anything from running to the store or walking around the crib commando. The drop it off shorts fit every occasion. Ladies, Blackest Uniform has you covered too. When it's time to show a little skin, you need to chop it up crop top. And when you really want to let them know what you're working with, throw on a side boost special tank top. Whether you're meeting for coffee or hitting the gym, they'll love to see you coming and hate to see you go when you're rocking the appointment yoga pants. Life situations can be complicated. Having the right clothes on for these situations is easy. Go to blackestuniform.com today.
All right. Cool. Blackuniform.com, blackuniform.com. Also vigorforpain.com and the world's greatest topical CBD products. Vigorforpain.com. Vigorforpain.com. All right. So let's get to a couple of quick hits up in this joint. Let's see what we got. Which one we gonna start with? Let's go with A. No, we ain't even gonna do that one yet. So let's go with this one. So in the realm of New World Order, y'all know how we get down with the New World Order Agenda 21 mission goals, right? So here, let me read off a couple just in case you're unfamiliar with the Agenda 21 mission goals. So for those that don't know, we're doing a whole series on connecting all the New World Order agenda stuff to each other. So the series is called All Conspiracies Are Connected to Each Other, right? So that means no conspiracy exists in isolation. And so inside the one of the things we're using is the Agenda 21 mission goals, you know, the one world military, the one world central bank, government, the cash as currency and all of that stuff, right? So one of the mission goals is a universal basic income. And so whenever we get to talking about instituting all this different stuff, like people are like, yo, how they gonna get to do this and how they gonna get to do that? Well, they do things slowly, right? They try it out, they see how it goes, they get you used to it, they get you used to seeing it. Sometimes they even try to get you dependent on it. All right, so I think on Friday I played a clip where Klaus Schwab was talking about their goal for what was it, LA was to be car free by 2030, right? So they're trying to make it car free in LA by 2030, right? And so he just had this whole plan on what they saw for LA. but LA is not it. So one of the other goals is the universal basic income. And so guess who's trialing that one now? So where is it? In Denver experimented with giving people $1,000 a month. And they say it reduced homelessness and increased full-time employment, a study found. So there you go. A study found that direct cash assistance reduced homelessness and increased employment in Denver. About 800 homeless Denver residents have been getting monthly payments ranging from $50 to $1,000. And they reported fewer nights spent sleeping on the street. You get it? So Denver is testing out the universal basic income by giving homeless people money. What's that, bro?
I said facts.
And so this is them trying to slowly institute universal basic income. All right. Many participants reported that they have used the money to pay off debt, repair their cars, secure housing, and enroll in a course. He said. He's talking about one of the Mark Donovan, who founded he's the founder and executive director of the Denver Basic Income Project. Literally called the Denver Basic Income Project. All right. These are all paths that could eventually lead participants out of poverty and allow them to be less dependent on social support programs. Donovan founded the Denver Basic Income Project in 2021. An entrepreneur, he made his money off wooden ships, a clothing company that specializes in sweaters for women. Yo, anybody here got wooden ships, sweaters, or some shit like that? Anybody got wooden ships?
You talking about
No?
ships in a bottle? What you mean?
No, I guess it's a clothing brand called Wooden Ships.
Oh, no, black is a uniform. I got that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, but the question I was gonna ask Linnell, do you think that this study only works in places where the temperatures aren't favorable? Like, so do you think this study would work the same as far as the testing for this universal basic income
Hey, your mic
in
popping a little bit, bro.
California?
Is that just me, or
California.
is his mic popping?
No, it's I can hear it. Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Hell no.
It's worse? Damn. All right, no.
That's the same. It's popping like it's hot. Yeah. So no, you said would it only work in places that are warm or have what? What was the question?
Hold on, I get my mic straight. But yeah, that would it work in warmer climates like California?
Would it work in warmer climates like California? Giving people $1,000 a month in California, $1,000 a month in California ain't gonna do nothing, right? Is it because it's warmer? I don't know. The question is, hold on. The question is, why do they think it worked? So I got questions, right? So here, let me see. Last October, more than 800 people were enrolled in the basic income plan, but they didn't all receive the same stipends. There are three groups. Ones who received $1,000 for a year, another receives $6,500 up front, and then $500 a month from there, and another gets just $50 a month. Yo, that's screwed up. So they gave people $6,500 to start off with, and then $500 a month. That ain't bad. All right. While cautioning this was only one interim 6-month follow-up from what is a year-long program. So the question is, how are they determining what people did? Like, is it just kind of reporting? Like, hey, what'd you do with that money I gave you? And people telling them, oh yeah, I managed to do this, I managed to do that. Or was it someone they tracked people? I think this is more of a reporting where people just kind of said, what they did. It said the guaranteed income also dramatically reduced visible homelessness. What does that mean? Does it mean you gave them the money and then they just went and slept somewhere else so you didn't see them no more? Well, when the initiative began, 6% of the people in the $1,000 a month group said they were sleeping outside. The number fell to 0 6 months later. The group that received a large lump sum similarly reported a decline from 10% sleeping outdoors to 3%. Even those who received just $50 a month moved indoors to a degree, with the outdoor sleeping rate declining from 4% to 8%. See, that don't make no goddamn sense.
I was just
What
about
is,
to say I don't believe that because we talking about. You said Denver, Colorado.
yeah.
That's a lie, bro. It's expensive to live out there and get shelter. I don't believe that.
Me neither.
Where you living at for $1,000 and you ain't had no job to begin with? I don't believe that.
Bro, where you living for $50 a month? How they saying people? Yo, yeah, $50 a month. Yeah, I got off the streets. Like what? Yeah, I'm smelling cap. I'm smelling some sort of propaganda piece to get people to cozy up to the idea of universal basic income. That's what I'm smelling. Yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't going with this one. That's some bull crap. All right, so yeah, that's one. So hey, they bring in the universal basic income, man. Get ready for it. This next one is near and dear to my heart for a very specific reason. So members of a Florida family who claimed they had a miracle cure for COVID-19 that contained a toxic bleach were sentenced to federal prison on Friday. The Department of Justice said Mark Grennan, 66, and his three sons, John Grennan, 37, Jordan Grennan, 29, and Joseph Grennan, 36, were found guilty of conspiracy to defraud the U.S. by distributing an unapproved and misbranded drug, the DOJ said. The federal jury also found Jonathan and Jordan Grennan guilty of contempt of court following a trial this summer. Jonathan and Jordan Grennan were sentenced to 151 months. That's 12 and a half years, guys, in federal prison, which means they got to do all of that pretty much. While Mark and Joseph Grennan were sentenced to 5 years, the DOJ said. Federal prosecutors said the men manufactured, produced, and sold a quote-unquote dangerous product they claimed would cure COVID-19. Their miracle mineral solution, or MMS, was sold under the guise of the Genesis 2 Church of Healing, Health and Healing, according to prosecutors. So anybody that knows, they're talking about chlorine dioxide. So when they say, oh, a dangerous bleach, that's not bleach. Chlorine dioxide is not bleach.
Didn't the president say drink bleach or something?
No, so Trump literally said this helps with COVID. He was talking about chlorine dioxide.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, the mainstream media started talking about bleach. You know what I'm saying? They said, oh, the president told people to drink bleach. You know what I mean? So let's see. MMS contains sodium chloride and water. It contains more than that, which when ingested orally became chlorine dioxide, a powerful bleach typically used for industrial water treatment or bleaching textiles, pulp, and paper, the DOJ said in a press release. Yeah, so they're talking about chlorine dioxide. And for anybody who's listened to the podcast or kind of been in our live rooms, you know, I actually use chlorine dioxide. I still take it to this day. I've been using it since last year. So I think me and Joseph started using it last year in like October, and we went heavy on it. Like we did, I think at our peak, I think we were doing as much as 10 drops per hour. Right, 10 drops per hour, no side effects, like no adverse effects or anything. So this whole, oh, it's killing people, this, that, and the other, I'm calling cap. from personal experience. Calling cap. All right, so this is one of those things. I know mind equals blown said, but the question is, did it work? Some tells me it did, right? That's the only reason that they put people like in jail for stuff. When people are using stuff that works, or trying to hit people to something that works, or spreading information on stuff that works, either they put you in jail or they kill you. And so this is a family of what, 3 sons and a dad, so that's 4. Yeah, it'd have been tough to kill all them dudes. So they just put him in jail. So you know what? I actually saw. I think I seen the video where like they did an undercover sting on these dudes. I remember seeing this when I was researching chlorine dioxide. They did an undercover sting. They sent somebody. They like sent somebody in with a camera, and the person was, and they were like keeping it real cool. They were like, "Hey, yo, just check it out. Use it like this." And the person was just kind of entrap them and trying to get them to say, "Yo, it cures this and this, that, and the other." So they started a church so that they could kind of give it away for free. They weren't charging people for it. They started a church so they could kind of give it away for free. And they were like, "Yo, this is part of our religion." And so they trapped these dudes. Yeah, so chlorine dioxide, they put these dudes in jail for trying to educate people about chlorine dioxide, which is an amazing product. All right. Speaking of that, I got my I got the thing that I had ordered that I told y'all about on the show. It came in today. It came in today. Hey, somebody tell Tamario to check his back channel, check his Discord, to check his Discord messages. All right. So yeah, chlorine dioxide is amazing, man. Don't let nobody run you off of it. All right. Oh, you said what does chlorine dioxide actually do? So it's similar to, so chlorine dioxide is similar to hydrogen peroxide, which Ethan is huge on. So food grade hydrogen peroxide is similar to ozone, which the homeboy Chuck is very partial to. So all of these things oxygenate the blood. And in the case of chlorine dioxide, it actually it has a knack for getting rid of things that aren't natural to the body. So all those foreign things in your body, like chlorine dioxide, can get rid of a lot of that stuff. Like it gets rid of a lot of invaders, parasites, fungus, all of that stuff. All right. Hey, yo, that's funny. So I'm gonna say, hey man, get my man Butterball up here, man. You know what? Thing is, if I get him up here, I need my I need the Blue Oyster music. You know what I'm saying? So hold on. You know, I gotta cue that thing up somewhere. I'm gonna find it, no worries. But yeah, so in terms of what it does, it oxygenates the body. And so what happens is, and it oxygenates the body and it dismantles a lot of pathogens. So we had Carrie here, and so Carrie actually utilizes chlorine dioxide to treat autism. And so she's got mad testimonials and success stories with using chlorine dioxide to treat autism. So we did a whole show on using chlorine dioxide. So we had Carrie on, we had Dr. Senef on, and then we did a whole show just on chlorine dioxide and its role in dismantling glyphosate, which is one of the hugest problems. So glyphosate, for those that don't know, is one of the hugest problems in the American diet. It's in like all the food. Chlorine dioxide, glyphosate is literally Roundup. It's the weed killer Roundup. Okay, so it's in everything. It's in the vaccines, it's in the food, it's in the fruit, like it's everywhere. And so chlorine dioxide literally dismantles glyphosate. And it actually turns glyphosate from a poison into something that the body can utilize in a healthy fashion. So chlorine, like I said, chlorine dioxide is dope. Not literally dope, but it's amazing. All right. So yeah, that's reading that was sad. All All right. So any like I said, anytime somebody finds something that cures something, they put them in jail. Like they've been putting people that cure cancer in jail forever. So if you cure something, if you find something that cures something, because chlorine dioxide is super cheap. Super cheap. You know what I mean? I think I got 4 ounces. So I got total is 8 ounces for $40. And that shit lasts for years. I've been giving people some of my stuff and I still got more and more. Like I've had years. It lasts forever. Not ever, but it lasts for a long time.
Years?
Yeah. So the little bit I like, yeah, years.
Hey, I
In
got a
terms of
question.
like, what's up, bro?
What if them dudes that said they soothed the symptoms of COVID instead of curing?
They soothe the symptoms of so yeah, that would have worked. And so like I said, I saw the video because there was like this undercover video, and it was somebody going on that's trying to entrap them. And so I think, yeah, it was an entrapment video. Like, yeah. So they let somebody come in, and this person was playing a role, and they was just trying to like soothe them, like, yo, hey, no, it's gonna be all right, yo, just gonna get rid of this, that, and the other. Like it was real chill. And they used that video, and that's what they convicted them of. That's the impetus for arresting them dudes. Yeah, it's pretty bad. All right. Let's see. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that because like that kind of upset me as an avid chlorine dioxide user. So speaking of, you know what? Here. So this was here. Let me see if I have to share my screen for this one. All right. So this is funny. This is one of those you don't say, or this is awkward. All right. So this is and I think Ms. J was talking about this not too long ago. This is I think he's maybe the Prime Minister of New Zealand or somebody. Here, I got to share my screen with y'all for this one. Let me see. Nope, not that one. Where the hell is Bing at? Y'all know if it ain't Bing, it ain't gonna work. All right, so check this out. So this is my man talking about vaccine mandates. Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is my man talking about vaccine mandates.
The vaccine mandates, I acknowledge
But can y'all hear that?
Yep.
Yes.
that it was a challenging time for people, but they made the vaccine mandates. I acknowledge that it was a challenging time for people, but they ultimately made their own choices. There was no compulsory vaccination. People made their own choices. There was no compulsory vaccination. People made their own choices. But they ultimately made their own choices. There was no compulsory vaccination. People made their own choices. There was no compulsory vaccination. People made their own choices. Early next year, we'll be in the phase of chasing up people who haven't come forward to get their vaccination.
So my message to New Zealanders who have not yet had their first dose: if you want summer, if you want to go to bars and restaurants, get vaccinated. If you want to get a haircut, get vaccinated. If you want to go to a concert or a festival, get vaccinated. If you want to go to a gym or a sports event, get vaccinated.
We can't leave anything to chance, so that's why we're making it mandatory. The vaccine mandates.
So there you go. So apparently, the mandates weren't mandatory. So for all you people, especially in New Zealand, like I don't know how many people in New Zealand are gonna catch this. I want y'all to know that there was no mandates for vaccinations. All right. So you went and got it. It's because you wanted to go get it. All right. So get that through your head. Everybody understand that? There were no mandates. Okay. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page. And they're pulling that here as well. Like there were no mandates nowhere. Like it was all voluntary.
So why was people getting fired then?
Because they volunteered to be fired, Jamila. That was voluntary firing. Did you not know that?
You know what? I didn't even put two and two together. I mean, if you volunteer, you're right. My bad.
Yeah. So you say so they didn't threaten people's jobs. Well, see, the thing is, people volunteer to have their jobs threatened. Those weren't mandatory job threatenings. Like this was all volunteerism. And that's what my man just told you guys. Obviously, y'all don't pay attention. You know what I'm saying? He literally just told y'all. It was all about voluntary. No one was fired. They voluntarily
So
left.
tricky all the time. Like they're always switching it up. And you're right. I forgot about those mandates, and then they dropped them, and then they reinforced them, and then I'm still a little bit lost, but
It's
yeah.
okay. That's all right. No problem. Let's see what we got. We got a couple more. Hey. So I know for those of you looking to, I know if you're moving, you're looking for a place to live. You know what? Yeah, for those looking for a place to live, San Francisco has got you. Hold on, let me share my screen. Y'all got to see this. This is amazing. Hey, this is Northern Cali right here. X, make sure this is stand up, homie. All right, this is you and your people. And it's Northern Cali. So I don't want to hear that's Southern Cali. This is Northern Cali right here. San Francisco unveils jaw-dropping $900 monthly rent for tiny 4-foot pods amid housing crisis. Y'all see these pods? So these are $900 a month. Who's taking one?
Nice.
You about to make some pod people?
Man, we got pod people. They just don't know it yet. Who's Paige? What you think? $9 a month? Would you do it?
I'm thinking, see, I know how Japan got them little sleep
Exactly what I
pod
was thinking,
hotels
Paige.
for way cheaper. Spend the $900 on part of your plane ticket and pack you a bag and then go stay for a few months in a Japanese hotel and make it an experience if this is what we're doing, honestly.
Wait, does that mean does the 900 include the roommate? Because that looked like two beds. And what about utilities? Do you have to pay for all those lights?
No, so this is a pod, that's a pod, that's a pod, so each of these is 900.
So like the top bunk or collectively, the two beds is 900?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Dude, you know what? It just hit me. I swear to God, it just hit me. The people in Denver who got the $1,000 a month and no longer sleeping on the street, this is where they're sleeping in San Francisco for $900 a month.
That makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah, they have the $1,000 and then they have 100 for like.
You got $100 left over. Yeah. This is where they're sleeping. Well, y'all heard it here first. Denver solved their
But
homeless
wait a
problem.
minute. Wait a minute. How does that make sense if they just giving the money back to the people that gave them the money?
Well, no, they got it from Colorado and they're California. That's different. All right. The pods are in San Francisco.
Oh, I
You know what I
thought we
mean?
was making the assumption that they had pies in Colorado. Okay.
No. I'm saying they're going to California and that's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so
What is the
people are living
utilities looking like though? Is everything inclusive?
I don't think it's no yeah, it's included. Mm-hmm.
So meals and stuff too, or I gotta fend for myself? Like what is going on?
No, that's what the extra $100 is for. Mm-hmm. Look at these pods. Now tell me y'all wouldn't stay in these things, man. Dude, they got the living room area.
Well, it's like
Hey,
hardwood
people definitely gonna
floors.
stay in them though, because people out here sleeping in their cars and all other kind of stuff. So
Is that
that will
is that the
definitely work.
main room? That's the main
Yeah, that's
space?
yeah, it's the living room. Yeah, it's the living room.
Oh, so it's like Big Brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
There goes
not
the
Big
kitchen.
Brother. So,
Oh, look
okay.
at them appliances is nice. Oh, look, is that the view?
I think so.
Uh,
So
I
what?
got
I
it.
think these are your
Also, how
neighbors.
many people to the
That's gonna
building?
work.
So how many people to the building?
Yeah, like these common areas are for how many residents?
Hey, Paige, funny enough, check this out. The inspiration for these tiny living spaces come from Japan coffin houses, which emerged during the recession in 2009. So yeah, there you go. And they're on Zillow. All right, so
Not
you
they're
can
on
find them.
Zillow.
Hold on. Let's see. It's gonna developers create complexes. Let's see. For $900 a month. Oh yeah. Let's see. How many people for the common area? Does it say? I don't see. Community $7 a month. Yeah, it don't say how many people like are total there. All right. But just know, look at that. This is nice amenities right here, man. Y'all gotta relax. Y'all doing the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So yeah.
telling you, bro, it look pretty decent. It look better than sleeping in your car. And somebody could come throw something in there and kill you. Wasn't that one of your quick hits?
It was. It was. But it's okay. All right, let's see what else. So, oh, Allie, you here? Where Allie at? Is Allie still here?
Yeah.
All right, check this out. So here, this is right up your alley right here. X, how you get kicked off stage, bro? All right, Allie, this is for you. Need you to be careful. And anybody else that owns property, yo, if you own property and you be Airbnb and that joint out, check this out. The Airbnb guest from hell, squatting at a home for 500 days, wants owner to pay $100,000. So, an Airbnb guest dubbed the tenant from hell has been squatting at a luxurious guest house overlooking the hills of Los Angeles for more than a year and a half, and is refusing to leave unless the homeowner pays her $100,000 relocation fee. Elizabeth Hirschhorn rented a long-term stay at the Sasha Jovanovich's Brentwood guest home in 2021 of September for 6 months at a rate of $100 a night, with fees bringing the total to $20,000 according to court documents. But her Airbnb stay ended in April 2022 at Hirschcomb's, and Hirschcomb has been living rent-free ever since. The judge ruled that under the city's rent stabilization ordinance, Jovanovic has no legal reason to evict her under Los Angeles' recently adopted just cause ordinance, and would be required to pay her relocation fee to evict her. In an email to Jovanovic's lawyer obtained by the Los Angeles Times, Hirschcomb's attorney Amanda Seward arguing $100,000 is cheapest way of getting rid of the whole ordeal. It is the home of the tenant until the landlord gets a judgment. However distasteful, that is your client. Wow, what y'all think?
Allegedly, that little house in the back of my house will just blow up one day.
Hey, you mumbling? I can't hear you. Allie.
I heard that, Allie.
What she say?
Something like, I mean, a natural disaster possibly happened out of anywhere. Like, why and how is that
Nah,
house still standing?
no. See, that's your emotions thinking. You can't tear your own stuff up, so you got to cause some type of infestation or something. It's easy to get your house tinted and get rid of that after.
Shouldn't
You got
me,
to do something
but
that
the
make people
reason
really want to
why,
leave.
see, no, the reason why he's unable to kick her out is because she sent like plans and shit and documentation of where she lives to basically to LA, the city. And he has an unpermitted shower in there and like the stuff he did to make it livable for Airbnb, she reported it because he didn't get permits. He didn't do it the legal way. So, and she's not allowing him to go in there to change it because that's another reason why she's been there so long
Exactly.
without fucking paying because he's been trying to go in and update the shit so that he can legally kick her out, but she's been like blocking him from coming in. So again, if an earthquake just so happens in my backyard and in the house on the earthquake, I'll build another house. I'm a doctor. That man make all that money. He a doctor. It's fine. I'll build another backyard house. But when she
How
fall
you
in the
gonna make an
middle of
earthquake?
the San Andreas fault, when she fall in the middle of San Andreas fault, then that's not my problem anymore. She should have left. So yeah.
These people need to be real careful. There's a lot of these cases where people are squatting and are unable to be removed from the property. Like, did you see the one where the lady is literally like living in the house with the woman and like she's smoking in the house? She's walking past, like, I ain't leaving. You better not touch me either, or I'm gonna call the cops on you. That is crazy. There's a lot of these cases and it's really sad. It's really messed up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely sad.
Let's see. Parson said, "What happened to the Quiet Click 3000?" Man, I ain't get enough donations for it, bro. I got $2 for the Quiet Click 3000. Ain't nobody really trying to put
Y'all
on
You
better
better
for
send
it.
make
my
it
evil
work.
twin some money.
You better make it work.
Man, see, it's because you see a Parson. Obviously, the clicking don't bother nobody. Maybe it's just part of the show,
Hey,
part of the ambiance. Huh?
I got a question, Linnell.
What's up?
What would be a legal way to get rid of a squatter? Am I still popping, by the way?
A little
Yeah,
bit.
you are.
You are. I heard of something this morning. I'm not sure if it's just for Georgia because I was like reading stuff about the state of Georgia, but it is called. Dang, it's called like Look, basically, I'm finna try and look it up too so I can tell you the exact name. Basically, it's a paperwork that you file with the city or state. And when you file it with the city or state, it's saying like they're an intruder. It's like an intruder something document. And you file that directly with the state. And then instead of having to go through the eviction process, they get them niggas out immediately. They call the sheriff and get them niggas out within like a couple of days. As opposed to like how eviction be taking weeks and weeks and weeks. So it's called like intruder something, but I'm gonna look it up so I can say the exact name because I've seen something about it this morning actually.
So I thought the reason why
Gotta love the
people be
South.
having to I thought the reason why people be having to go through those eviction processes was because people are actually in the property for that amount of time and then they get mail there. So basically, they become like a tenant, and therefore that's what forces people to have to go through those eviction processes.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think that's right up Allie's. That's Allie's wheelhouse right there.
I was
But
reading about this on Reddit and I heard that you cannot stop utilities. However, you can remove furniture.
how you gonna remove furniture if you can't get in there?
I'm
What
talking
I'm trying to understand, how you can't get in your own spot? How dare you
Because the
keep me
way
and
that
I
the
don't care
law
about
is
what you
set
about
up,
to say. I got the keys to them
you have to
doors.
care that because the way that the law is set up, sometimes it doesn't work on, the people's side who they think because they not working in the constructs of the law.
So
Yeah, buddy.
it's under Title 441130, and that makes a squatter to be considered as an intruder, and then you can evict them immediately under that statute. Um, they don't have a lease agreement. That's why. And they haven't been paying you rent. So basically, as long as you use that 441130, I'm still looking for the name of it because they said in the little thing I was reading earlier. But if you use that, they'll get them people out immediately. Because like what I was reading, the lady was saying like, yeah, it's been going on a lot, but I got the sheriff out here within 3 days. So it's on some shit where like they're like, oh nigga, for real, you got intruders, we're getting them the fuck out. So as opposed to like you got renters, because even the lady was saying like when the sheriff came, they told the sheriff like, oh, we just paid rent. The sheriff and them ain't give a fuck because she filed the 441130 as opposed to going through eviction court. So whoever the fuck they was paying rent to, the fake leasing people, they got these people money, and these people just got kicked the hell out. So, but that's going on a lot in Georgia too, where like if you have empty homes and you have like a lockbox on your property for people to view it, squatters and scammers have been like signing up to view properties. They'll get the lockbox code and then they'll freaking cut it off or change the locks once they get the key, and then they'll put it on the market to rent, have an unsuspecting patron rent it from them, even though they don't own it, or they'll move in themselves, and then there you go. Drama, bullshit, niggas squatting, niggas getting evicted, etc., etc.
Wow.
The scam is real. All right, cool. I got let's see. I got here. Hold on, I was gonna do this one. Not doing that one. All right, here. I got one more. And then we'll. I think I did everything I want to do. Yeah. All right, got one more. Yo, for this one though, y'all gotta see this one. This was funny. Then we'll get to the main cook. Hold on. Hey, yo. Oh, there you go. So this is. Hold on. Let me see. This is. So imagine all you churchgoers, right? You at church, all right? And my man is talking. Hold on. This is your pastor. Check it out. Oh no.
The future of the church and of our world is truly in the hands of what Martin Luther King Jr. called the creatively maladjusted. Maybe minorities, sexual and gender minorities, have something to teach the church about dying to self, about new life, about that is not a sign of God.
Okay, yo. My man's preaching about what the maladjusted have to teach life and guys this and guys that. Is that a sign from God, y'all? What y'all think, man?
I was about to say the interpretations were
Straight
wild.
from the heavens.
Some people were like, ooh, and then other people were like, yeah, like preach, like they thought it was affirmations. So I think that's interesting.
Yes, it's definitely in how you interpret that joint. And oh man, you preaching, you brought the thunder. No, you talking some bull. And he ain't want to hear that stuff. So yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. All right, yo, it's about that time. Hey, Allie, did you have something you wanted to? Did you manage to get it straight or now? You don't get straight to the cook.
Okay, I can try and do a little quick nigga news. Let me
All
see.
right, guys. Allie got some quick nigga news express for us. Express. This ain't even nigga news express. This is nigga news express. What you got, Allie?
All right, so boom. The first thing I'm gonna talk about, because we always talk about music first. So the main thing I want to talk about, we're gonna talk about that on Wednesday. So make sure y'all tune in. But in other music news, Mary J. Blige has recently partnered with Pepsi to create like a $30,000 scholarship for young women at Hampton University, and it's geared more towards sophomores. So because everybody's talking about the economic hardship, to kind of ease that, Mary J. Blige and Pepsi, they are collaborating, and they basically are giving $30,000 to one female sophomore student at Hampton University to help ease that economic hardship. And they haven't chosen somebody yet, but be on the lookout for more details. This is going to be for next year, the 2024-2025 school year. You have to have a minimum of a 2.5 GPA. And you have to be studying, I think, marketing, finance, art, business administration, and then creative design. So if you know anybody that go to Hampton, or you go to Hampton, you're a female, you're gonna be a sophomore. I'm gonna try and keep a lookout on it. So whenever we're doing Nigga News Express, if we got more details, I can give y'all more details. So y'all can get free school money for those who want to go to school. Okay. So then a quick super niggatry sports topic. So some of y'all may call this niggatry. I just call it celebration. Recently, Colorado, they won a game against Arizona State. And Shador just had to show off his watch to, the side of Arizona State, and everybody was getting mad, like they always do. But I just, I thought he was celebrating. So shout out to them for winning a game. I believe they're 4-2. X, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they're 4-2 right now. So yeah, shout out to Colorado. Hopefully they continue to do their thing. And then last but not least, oh my gosh, in entertainment, Chop will be proud of me. The person he hates the most, Kevin Gates, recently did a show in Virginia where he called one of his fans on stage and he proceeded to spit in her mouth. And she allowed him. She actually licked out her tongue and then she swallowed it. Yeah, definitely some nigga shit. Gross, disgusting, but that is Kevin Gates for you, and that is our super quick nigga news. Make sure to tune in with us on Wednesday because we got some shit to talk about on Wednesday.
Hey, we here for it. I mean, not for Kevin Spit, but for the Express.
Bruh. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks. Thanks. That's our local Negress correspondent. All right, y'all. So yeah, let's get to it. Appreciate everybody hanging out. It's a Conspiracy Cookout Express. So we're here every Monday. Like I said, it's some nice in and out. We're gonna give you some quick hits, and then we get to the main cook, man. So the main cook for the night. I had initially I was going to do kind of a breakdown of the Las Vegas shooting, just because there's some stuff that go along with it. So not only Maui, but it has kind of other far-reaching implications. So I wanted to do a breakdown of that. So I fully intended to do that, and then this thing in Israel happened. Okay. And so I was like, you know what? And just listen to people talk about it. I realized that a lot of people really don't know too much about like what's going on in that region. They don't know the history of it. They don't know the root of the conflict, how it's playing out, why things are happening. When I was a kid, the term like people always say, "Oh, peace in the Middle East," but what the hell does that mean? Right? All we knew is they was always over there fighting. We never know what they was fighting about. So as I come to kind of understand more about it, it helps me to put things into context. And so I want everybody, especially people in our spaces, to have a more deeper understanding about kind of world politics and what's going on in the world. So the way I figured is to just kind of do a real quick walkthrough of the context of what's going on. Okay. So when I talk about what happened over the weekend, so let's start with the most recent news, and then we're gonna start with what just happened, and then we're gonna go back, okay, to kind of to the beginning. So this story comes from, what is this, jta.org. So Saturday was a day of bloodshed, unprecedented in Israel's history. That's not true. Beginning in the morning of Jewish holiday, hundreds of attackers broke through the barrier between Israel and Gaza and spread into more than 20 locations, killing 600 Israelis on the streets, in their homes, and at an outdoor festival, taking some 100 hostages and injuring more than 2,000. In a country whose chronology is punctuated with wars, terror attacks, and military offensives, Saturday stood out in its horror. Nothing like this has ever happened in Israel, and Israelis are comparing the day to 9/11 and asking how their vaunted military could have been so unprepared for such a major assault. So, in short, that's what happened. So, the story is that the Palestinians rushed through the walls in Israel They launched rockets and bombs and shit, rushed in, killed a bunch of people, and took hostages. Okay. Now, the one thing I will say is when they say Israelis are comparing that day to 9/11, it's definitely giving some 9/11 vibes. Right? From some of the stuff I've seen, it's definitely giving some 9/11 vibes. So here, let me see if I can get so remember, Palestine, so this is the story. Palestine attacked Israel, and then Israel responded. Okay, so Palestine attacked Israel with rockets and stuff, and ran in, and they're saying that nobody knew anything, which I find hard to believe because of the nature of that the conflict. It is a well-monitored border. So there's this. I saw a video of this. So one of the things to understand is that everybody in Israel is military. You know how when you here you got to register. When you turn 18, you got to register for selective service. To go into the, like, in case there's a draft. Over there, everybody serves in the military. Everyone serves in the military. Like, it's literally part of what you do growing up. You have to do, like, there's a mandatory military service in Israel. Okay, so there was a video of this girl talking about her time in the military when she was kind of one of the ones guarding the border, and she said they can like cats, rabbits, sometimes roaches set off the sensors, right? Like, there are people whose eyes are focused on the border at all times. She said it's 1000% impossible for anyone to sneak up on the border. It's impossible. I believe that. Okay. So one of the things I want to show y'all is, where is it at? So let's look at some footage. So keep in mind, this is all coming from the mainstream media. Okay. This is all coming from the mainstream media. So this is scenes from supposedly Israel, right? And where's it at? Cut that off. So I don't really see, like, I see explosions, right? I don't see too many. I don't see rockets, right? I see explosions but no rockets. So this is one of them things where it's like, so y'all see it? Y'all see the explosion? Like, I see explosions, but I don't see rockets. So that's interesting to me. Like, they've been showing kind of footage like this all day. I've seen a couple buildings in free fall, like falling at free fall speed. I've been seeing all kinds of random just explosion videos. And I'm like, I don't know about this. All right. So I'm suspect of any so this is supposedly Israel shooting rockets, white phosphorus rockets, which burns the human skin. So this is banned under international law, right? This is a biological weapon, so this is supposedly banned under international law. White phosphorus rockets and shit, that shit is banned. So now keep this in mind. Like I said, all of this shit is coming from the mainstream media.
Look, we're going to use the at least 59 people killed, at least 149 people wounded. Those numbers are going to go up. There's just no question about that. I mean, you have fierce fighting in a number of locations around the country. You mentioned Chernobyl. Russian forces quickly overtaking that area. We understand they are still in control. The other thing that went down today that was of huge importance was Russian paratroopers went into an airfield 15 miles outside of Kyiv, and for a short period of time this afternoon, I
see what I'm talking about.
It's the fact that he pulled it back over him after she said what she said.
Bruh. Same thing here. Same thing here. Look at this. Right. So, like I said, whenever I see shit, mainstream news, I'm automatically thinking cat. Like, I don't believe nothing I see on the news. So the whole Palestine attack, Israel, rockets out of nowhere. Nah, homie. My spidey senses start going up. My spidey senses start going up. Right. Whenever I see stuff on the news, automatically my spidey senses start going up.
What are we looking at here?
Which one was this? This was, hold on. This was, let's see. Hold on. Which one of these? It was one of these tragedies where they were filming people supposedly going to the scene. I forget which tragedy it was. Oh, this was one of my favorites. Y'all remember this one? All right. One of my favorites. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it's on the news, I'm real hesitant, right? Real hesitant.
What happened to walking on water, man? He was walking on water, wasn't he?
You know what? I'm not a man of faith by and large, but that was yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Anything's possible. We are living in the return. So here, let's go back and let's look at some. Let's keep everything in context, right? So exactly what you guys just saw. Think about the story that I read about what's going on in Israel. All right, and so let's go back kind of to the beginning. Okay, so does anybody know what a Zionist is? Anybody familiar with the term Zionist? So I've mentioned this before. The term Zionist. Does anybody know what a Zionist is? You might have heard the term Zionist.
I always get that term mixed up with the zealot. Is that similar? Different?
No. Zionism was a Zionist can be a zealot, but they're not the same thing. All right. Here, let me find it. So what I'm gonna try to do for this is I'm gonna try to keep this as balls and strikesy as possible. Okay. I'm gonna try to throw balls and strikes. All right. So that's my goal in this one. It's not to give y'all just kind of my thoughts on it, but just to try to tell people exactly what's going on. All right, so here let's look at because it's one of them things that you have to understand what it is in order for this stuff to make sense. All right, so here. So Zionism was created by a gentleman named Theodor Herzl. Okay, so Theodor Herzl, here, he became the first prime minister of Israel. Okay, and so Zionism is a nationalistic movement. Okay, so it's a nationalistic movement. So Zionism, Jewish nationalist movement that has had as its goal the creation and support of a Jewish national state in Palestine, the ancient homeland of the Jews. Through Zionism, though Zionism originated in Eastern Europe and Eastern and Central Europe in the latter part of the 19th century, it is in many ways a continuation of the ancient attachment of the Jews and of the Jewish religion to the historical region of Palestine, where one of the hills of ancient Jerusalem was called Zion. Okay, so there you go. So that's what Zion. So that's kind of the technical definition, but pretty much what it is, and I've said this before. so what they would say is that it's about self-determination. So one of the major differences between like Zionist Jews and let's say Orthodox Jews is self-determination, where an Orthodox Jew may say, when the Messiah comes back, not Jesus, when the Messiah comes back, then he'll lead us he'll take us to the homeland. Where Zionism is saying, no, we got enough money, we'll get our own homeland. You get what I'm saying? So that's the mainstream position on Zionism. It's like, hey, we don't have to wait for a Messiah to come back. We can get our own homeland. And so Zionists are, their main goal is to secure a homeland for Jews. Okay. So Theodore Herzl is kind of he's credited with like forwarding the modern Zionist movement. All right. So they had the first Zionist convention in 1897. Okay, the first Zionist convention happened in 1897 in Basel. It's a city called Basel. All right. So at the convention, and so remember, the Zionists are about getting a homeland for the Jews. That's their whole goal. So we need to secure a homeland for us. Cool. And so what they discussed was, where should the homeland be? And so they had all these, so they were giving out all these different ideas and suggestions for what a homeland should be. So some of the ones that supposedly was discussed at the convention was Uganda. They thought about going to Uganda, taking land there. Alaska was one of the things on the list. Madagascar, right, was one of the places they discussed, and apparently a number of other places that were kind of less, exotic and sexy. But ultimately, what they decided on was Palestine. Okay, so Palestine was an area that had been controlled by the Ottomans, which were Turks. The Ottoman Turks had controlled it, and then they went to war with Britain and lost it to Britain. So for in one way or another, Palestine had been kind of under some sort of colonial control for a long time. So at this time, it belonged to the Brits. Okay, so the Brits took it from the Turks. All right. So having decided on Palestine, they were like, all right, well, Palestine is where we're going. Okay. What they started doing was they started funding people and recruiting people to go and settle in Palestine. So they used an organization called the Jewish National Fund. All right. And oddly enough, the Jewish National Fund was headquartered in New York City on Fifth Avenue. All right. So the Jewish National Fund was recruiting people to go and settle in Palestine. They were like, hey, this is going to be the homeland. And so we need people to go there. Right. And so it was what they called it. It was called Aliyah. Aliyah means like a return to greatness. So it was like a saying called like Aliyah, return to. So Aliyah means return to greatness. I heard all I thought was it's the LIYA, but apparently that means return to greatness. All right. So,
Hey, Linnell, real quick.
yeah.
Did they ever discover or did we ever come up with where they came from in the first place? If they returned from greatness, where did they come from?
So, like I said, I'm really focusing on balls and strikes. All right. So, without a lot of speculation. All right. So, in terms of their history, that's to be debated. But I really want to focus on this conflict specifically and where this one comes from. Right. So that's a whole. I only got like 40 more minutes to get all this stuff out. So yeah. So like I said, so the Jewish National Fund was recruiting people, and when I say people, I mean Jews from all over the world to go to Palestine. A lot of them were like, "Man, I'm not going to Palestine." Right? They literally just ran to America. A lot of people was like, "You know what? I'm going to America." All right. So they were trying to do what they call Judifying the land. Like beautifying, so they call it Judifying the land, or some sort of land redemption. Okay, so this was at the turn of the century. So this was 1897 was when they had the convention, and so they started literally funding people to move to Palestine. All right. So they were trying to get people to move there, and so it was kind of a slow process. All right, it was a real slow process. They didn't have a lot of luck, because they were just kind of settling. They was just getting people to go there. There was no kind of legal means by which people could go there. They were just kind of going there and living. So remember, and at the Palestinians are majority Arab Muslims. These are Muslims, and Jews are not Muslims. They're Jewish, right? So you're talking about getting Jewish people to go and live in a Muslim state. This is a Muslim area. All right. Okay. So in 1917, something very important happened. Where is it at? Let's see. Where is it at? Not that one. Not that one. Oh, here it goes. In 1917, this happened. So it's a declaration from Arthur James Balfour. All right. So look at the date here. See this date? November 2nd, 1917. All right. Let's see. See if I can find it. Look at this date. April 6th, 1917. So this is when the United States entered World War I. This is when this letter was sent. All right, so I told you I wanted to call balls and strikes. Let me offer a little bit of, this is a little bit of coloring, right? So the Balfour Declaration, which is this thing right here, and it comes from Arthur James Balfour, and it's going to Rothschild. It's not Samuel Rothschild. I was just looking at a video. I forget which one it was. Oh, Walter Rothschild. So it says, "Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and we will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. This is the document that gave Palestine to the Zionists. Okay. This is the document that gave Palestine to the Zionists. And so I said, look at the date because this is in November. And so allegedly, there was a trade-off. The trade-off, and yes, Lamb, I agree with you, but we're talking about this land right here. We're talking about this land. So the trade-off was that the Zionists would get the land known as Palestine in exchange for getting the United States into the war to help Britain. Okay, so Britain was getting their ass kicked in World War I, and they needed some help, and so there was an agreement made, allegedly, whereby the Zionists would get the United States into the war to help Britain in exchange for Palestine. Okay. And so,
do we want to talk about where they were at that time, or no?
What, in 1917? What are you talking about? Because this is in 1917, right? This is in 1917. Yeah, you said, do we want to talk about where they were at that time? And I said, are you talking about in 1917, where they were in 1917?
Yeah.
So at this point, they were just kind of scattered all over the place. A lot of times, I mean, they were in Europe heavy, right? They were in France, they were in Austria, they were in Germany, Poland.
Poland was
Yeah,
a
they
big
were.
one, and Germany was a big one. And I
Yeah.
think it was important that they were in Germany because they betrayed Germany just for Palestine. And that's what pissed off somebody else.
So yeah. So that was the Balfour Declaration. All right. So this is what gave the Zionists legal authority to occupy Palestine. All right. So this is very, very important to understand this. All right. Let's see.
I mean, is it okay for me to say who they pissed off? Because I know we real limited.
Yeah, just kind of keep that chill.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that chill. So here, let me throw some. Where's this joint at? Hold on, I got some audio for y'all. Let's see. Hopefully y'all can hear it. Let's see. There's some audio. Where is it at? Where is it at? Yo, can you unmute, bro? Oh, wait. All right.
What did this mean? It meant that.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
That for Palestine.
All right, shoot.
Became a special case because the British violated the provisions of the Mandate for Palestine, because they put the Balfour Declaration into the Palestine Mandate. You say, what did this mean? It meant that for Palestine, the wishes of the inhabitants, 90% Arab, would not be listened to, and they would not be developed for independence. it would be Jews, once they came in through immigration, you see, they would be allowed to develop. And so it's really with the Palestinian mandate and the violation of the mandatory provisions to give the Zionists the right to create a majority of Jews to create a Palestinian state, that the real Palestinian Zionist conflict begins, with very few illusions on both sides.
All right. So pretty much what he's saying is, when you read the Balfour Declaration, it says something very important in there. Hold on, where's it at? It says something very important. It says, hold on, where's it at? Where is it at? That one. So where it says, His Majesty's government, His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities. So there was already an agreement that, you can't do anything to the Palestinians there. Like, that was in the law, like in an agreement that was made. I guess when they transferred the power from the Turks or from the Ottoman Empire to the British, it was like, you can't do anything to these people. Like, this is their home. We technically took the land, but in terms of human rights, you can't really do anything to these people. Okay. And that's not what happened. Okay. So the first conflict started, or the first conflict that happened in like 1929. Right. So two conflicts happened, one in 1929 and one in 1936. One of the conflicts resulted, so it was like between the Palestinians and the Zionists, like it was like an all-out war. Like they were getting after each other, because the Zionists came in just kind of bogarting, taking settlements, moving people out the way. Because remember, they had been settling there since the 1800s, since 1897, right? But they had just got a legal right to the land, and so now they started moving people out the way. All right, and so the British, because they were helping with the transition, because remember, this is not legally a state, it's not a country yet, right? So the British were kind of mediating the process, and they made a few laws that were pro-Palestinian. And so the Zionists, what was it called? What was it called? It was called the bombing of, was it King David bombing? No, that wasn't it. King David bombing was a little later. But they bombed like some British or something like that. Right? No. What happened? So in 1936, they went to war, and after that war, the British made the Palestinians get rid of their army. That's what happened in 36. The British made the Palestinians get rid of their army. Okay, so pretty much making them helpless. So just to say, they had done the same thing with Germany after World War I. Like, they made them get rid of their army. You lose the war. You can't. Just like to this day, I don't think Germany has a goddamn army because of World War II. So Germany can't have a standing army, right? So they made the Palestinians get rid of their army. They dismantled their army after the first time they went to war with the Zionists. Okay. Now, keep in mind, at this time, there still weren't a lot of Zionists in Palestine. There weren't a lot of people there, and the Zionists wanted Jews to come there. They had been recruiting people to come there, and they couldn't get people to come there like in large numbers. So what did they do? They put in place, they created a mechanism to get people to come there. Let me find this one. So they did all of this work to get people to come to the new homeland. Okay. And so imagine if you're them, right? You did all this work to get people to come here, right? And nobody's coming. So it's kind of like, y'all remember on The Wire when they created like the drug free zone and shit, where it was like, yo, you can sell drugs for free here, and then they made it, and ain't nobody go there, right? And so what did they have to do? They literally had to round people up and bring them there. Like, nah, y'all sell drugs here, and that's it, right? And they made it real difficult everywhere else for them to sell drugs, right? And it was like, yo, if you ain't here, like if you do it here, you're cool. Outside of here, we're kicking your ass. And that's when they got biblical on them dudes, right? And so same thing, right? So they got the place. Now they need the people to come. Enter the Havara Agreement. Okay, the Havara Agreement translates to the transfer agreement. Y'all have heard me talk about the transfer agreement before. The Havara Agreement was an agreement between Nazi Germany and Zionist German Jews, signed on the 25th of August, 1933. The agreement was finalized after 3 months of talks by Zionist Federation of Germany, the Anglo-Palestine Bank, and the economic authorities of Nazi Germany. It was a major factor in making the migration of approximately 60,000 German Jews to Palestine from 1933 to 1939. The agreement enabled Jews fleeing persecution under the new Nazi regime to transfer some portion of their assets to the British Mandatory Palestine, British Mandatory Palestine. Immigrants sold their assets in Germany to pay for essential goods manufactured in Germany to be shipped to Mandatory Palestine. The agreement was controversial and was criticized by many Jewish leaders, both within the Zionist movement and outside it, as well as members of both the Nazi Party and the German public. For German Jews, the agreement offered a way to leave an increasingly hostile environment in Germany for the Yishuv, the Jewish community in Palestine. It offered access to both immigrant labor and economic support. For the Germans, it facilitated an immigration of German Jews while breaking the anti-Nazi boycott of 1933, which had mass support among European and American Jews and was thought by the German state to be a potential threat to the German economy. So that's the Havara Agreement, or aka the Transfer Agreement. All right, any questions about that? Everybody cool on that? Like what it did?
So that was to protect the Jews in Palestine?
No, so what it was a way to get the Jews to leave Germany. So it provided a safe way for them to take their wealth and leave Germany to go to Palestine. Get what I'm saying?
Oh, I see. Okay.
So remember, the Germans want them gone, so they were getting increasingly hostile towards them. The Zionists want them to move to the new land. So that's why the transfer agreement was between the Zionist Jews and the Nazi Party, because they had a common goal. Both of those people wanted the German Jews to go to Palestine.
But my question, Linnell, is which one came first, the Zionist or the Nazi Party in Germany?
Which one came first in Germany?
Well, it's on the entire dealing with this timeline. Which one came first? Like, did the Zionists establish their particular goals prior to the rise of the Nazi Party, or was the Nazi Party already
Yes.
background? Okay.
No, the remember the Zionists had their they determined this in 1897. The Nazi Party wasn't created till like the 1920s.
Right. So being that the Zionists did this prior to the events of World War One, and of course the end of World War One, and then leading up to World War Two, is there a conspiracy stating that perhaps the entire conflict in Germany and them fighting on two fronts or whatever, and them trying to get rid of that population was somehow linked to the Zionist movement? I'm just asking. I don't know.
So that's a great question. And that's one of them that we talk about on the podcast. Kind of tough to talk about that here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
it's
plus,
tough.
And that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, which was the conflict in Palestine. So right now, what we're just talking about was, how did all these people get to Palestine? All right. So we're talking about the methods that were employed to get the people there. So we talked about the methods that they used to get the land, and then the methods that they used to get the people to the land. Because remember, now we have a territory that was 99% Arab Muslim, and now you have an influx of Zionists, you know what I'm saying, to create a state, and then Jews. So because remember, the Jews that are coming now aren't just Zionist Jews. It's all kinds of Jews. They're trying to get all the Jews to come. Okay. So they're trying to get, they want this to be the Jewish homeland, right? Not just for Zionists, but for all Jews. So they want everybody to come. So now you're getting all these Jews coming. As the situation got more hostile around the world, for whatever reason it got hostile, right? Again, that's a podcast discussion, right? For whatever reason it got hostile, and so people started coming to Palestine, right? For the promise of a better life. All right. And so so this was so the transfer agreement was in the 30s, and that went I think it went from, so that was from 33, and it went from like all the way to 39. All right. It went to 39 till the war started. All right. So here, let's take a real quick look at the matriculation over time of the population. No, not that one. I want of the population. Not that one. Where the hell is the? I want this one. Which one is it? Where is this at? I want this one. All right. Yep, that one. All right. So, so this was the population of the Jewish land versus the Palestinian land in 46. Okay. So in 1946, they had the King David bombing. Now, it's not what you think. I know you're thinking, hey, if there's bombing, you got Jews, you got Muslims. That means either the Jews bombed the Muslims or the Muslims bombed the Jews. Nope. The Jews bombed the Brits. Huh? Yes. The King David bombing was the Zionists put a bomb in a hotel, and it took out a large majority of the British leadership, the military leadership that was in Palestine at the time. Okay, because they didn't like some of the policies that was put in place by the British. that were pro-Palestinian. And so they bombed them. Wild, right? So in response to that, Britain washed their hands of it. Britain was like, all right, man, you know what? We quit. It's over with. Like, we're not managing this conflict anymore. They relinquished it to the UN. It was like, you know what, United Nations, y'all got it. Y'all take over this one. All right? Y'all got it right now. I'm cool. And so if you look at the graphic on the screen, what you'll see is the distribution of Palestinian land to Jewish land in 1946. This is when the bombing happened. 1946. This was the current state of affairs. All right. The first thing that the UN did was they passed a resolution which overnight in 1947 gave 50%. So at the time of the bombing, the Jews owned 5% of the land. The UN passed a resolution to partition the land, to create two separate states, to create a Palestinian state and an Israeli state. All right. And so right where you see, so this was before the resolution. This was after the resolution. They literally gave Israel 56% of the land. Okay, 56% of the land they gave them overnight by resolution. All right, so now you get more of what they call kind of moving people off of their land. So now you get the Israeli army or the Israeli soldiers going into Palestinian-owned lands, kicking people out their property, killing people, murdering people. There's all kinds of massacres, right? Taking people's property, right? Either running people to neighboring countries or outright killing them. Men, women, children. Like, it's a well-documented phenomenon, all the atrocities that went on as they confiscated the land. Okay? Well-documented atrocities as they confiscated the land. All right? So one of the first, so one of the leaders here, so he was one of the leaders at the time of the Zionist party. His name was Ben Gurion. All right. So I want you to listen to, this is his quote about Palestine and Israel, right? So what he said about the Jewish state or being in Palestine was, he says, the Arabs will have to go, but one needs the opportune moment for making it happen, such as a war. And so just reading that quote, he said this he said it in 37. It was in the book in 48, but the quote was 37 in 1937. All right, which that quote literally has me thinking about what's going on today, where they want the whole entirety of the land, but they can only do so much kind of openly if they're not in a war. And so they've been slowly taking land and taking land and taking land and pushing and killing the people in Palestine to make what they want. So they're trying to get them to go to war, but the Palestinians really won't go to war. So you have groups that'll fight back, but they won't go to war. because if they go to war, so remember, Israel is backed by the U.S., is backed by Britain. They got weapons of the yin yang, military with the yin yang, right? And so the Palestinians won't go to war. They'll kind of defend themselves, and there'll be uprisings, but they just won't outright go to war. Okay. So this was what's his name? David Ben-Gurion came up with what they call the Plan Dalet. Right? The Plan Dalet was a Zionist military plan executed in the civil war phase of the 1948 Palestinian War for the conquest of the territory in mandatory Palestine in preparation for the establishment of the Jewish state. The plan was requested by the Jewish agency leader David Ben-Gurion and developed by the Haganah and finalized March 10th, 1948. Okay. Pretty much the plan called for them to partition the land off. Partition is a fancy way of saying walling off. Okay. It says, according to the Israeli Harkabi, Plan Dalet called for the conquest of Arab towns and villages inside and along the borders of the area allocated to the proposed Jewish state in the UN partition plan. In case of resistance, the population of conquered villages was to be expelled outside the borders of the Jewish state. If no resistance was met, the residents could stay put under military rule. So it's get down or lay down. Right? So when the UN partitioned off, like, so the UN was like, all right, well, yeah, look, this is going to be Palestine and this is going to be Israel. Plan Dalet was like, look, we're going in, we're going to take what we want. Yeah, your partitions are nice, right? And so anybody in any of the territories that's ours, if they act up, we're gonna kill them. We'll put them out. Most of the time they killed them. If not, they can stay, but if they stay, it's our rules. Okay, so this was March 10th, 1948. May 14th, they officially created the state of Israel in 1948. So that Israel was created, the current Israel was created in 1948. Okay. The current Israel was created in 1948. All right. And so after they killed it, like I said, they went around and they continued along the path of taking land that they wanted. Right? Burning villages, kicking people out. And so what they were doing was, they wanted this land, they wanted the land so that they could make their houses. Like when you go to Israel now, like all the land that's there now came from people who live there. Know what I'm saying? Those are people who live there. Like it was their houses. Know what I mean? So it was they had to do something to get rid of the people. And so what they did was, they went door to door, killing, murdering, they town to town, making it happen. Okay. So the ultimate plan for the area, right? The plan for Palestine here, let me see if I can play it for you guys. Right? So was to create kind of what they got now. So pretty much what they wanted to do was this, right? So remember, the UN came up with a two-state solution. The UN says, all right, look, you're going to have Palestine and then you're going to have Israel. You guys are going to live side by side. Israel is like, fuck that. There'll never be a separate independent Palestine. They don't want that to happen. So their idea for that, to prevent that from happening, is they create, y'all know how we always talk about in the in New World Order Agenda 21 mission goals, the settlement zones, 15-minute cities. So that's kind of what they created for them. So they created like these zones that are all these different islands. Okay, so it's like all these. So each little area is an island to itself, that where you can't just go from one Palestinian island to another Palestinian island. They're all partitioned off and separated by Jewish states. And so it's done purposely so that the UN or anyone can't come in and say, well, look, we'll just give them this block of land. So they got them all sectioned off and away from each other. And in some cases, they literally have walls, like prison walls. Okay. Here, let me see if I can show y'all some of the walls they have. They literally have prison walls. Hold on. Okay. Here, let me see. Yeah, right here. So the goal is to make it to where the Palestinian territories are just sectioned off far away from one another, and each of the territories is partitioned off by a wall. All right, and they control who goes in the territory, who leaves out the territory. In between each territory, they have Israeli only roads, so you can't travel on it if you're not Jewish. It's Jewish only roads, right? In between, so they got these corridors, they got these roads that only Jews can travel on. So if you're not a Jew, you can't travel on the road. So if you can't travel on the road, how are you gonna get from territory to territory? You can't. Get what I'm saying? So they're making it extremely difficult, right? Here, let me show y'all some of the. So these are some of the walls, right? So they make it extremely difficult to travel from place to place. All right. So they control everything that goes in, everything that comes out. So they can't. So the Palestinians can't get anything. They can't get any goods, food, water, medical supplies. They can't get anything. Everything goes through Israel. If Israel says, yo, you can't have food or water or anything, they control the electrical grid, they control the water, like the infrastructure, right? They control everything inside these kind of I don't call them a settlement zone. And so they're referred to as open air prisons. Like people have called them open air prisons. They're literally prisons, but they're just prisons that are big enough for you to kind of live in. And so if you don't go to the wall, then you can kind of live your life, right? You can kind of live your life.
Encampment.
Huh?
Encampment.
Yeah. So yeah, this shit. If you want to be cute, yeah, you can call it an encampment, but it's literally a prison, right? That is prison guards. The Israeli troops patrol the streets. They routinely beat people up, rape women, imprison women, steal people's stuff out the house, right? They got tanks in the street. It's a prison. It's a prison colony. David Cameron, the prime minister, literally called it an open air prison. All right. Literally called it an open air prison. And so I think in it was in like the 90s, they voted Hamas into office. All right, so Hamas has just been kind of this revolutionary group that routinely fights against Israel. They actually got voted into office, and part of Israel's response was to literally hermetically seal the borders to where nothing could get in or out, just to punish Palestinians for voting people into office. Okay. So it's a prison. They got checkpoints. It's like 56 checkpoints. But they got all these different. And so remember, this is at each island. They have all this stuff. Right? They got all these different scattered little parcels of land so that the Palestinians could never have one big piece of land. And in between each one, they make it impossible for a Palestinian to kind of traverse it without anybody knowing. Jews can go wherever the hell they want, but Palestinians can't. They got to stay in their own islands. Okay, and that's what they've created over there. And so that's the root of the conflict, right? That's the root of the conflict. To me, so it's a combination of the settlement zones in addition to, hold on, where is it at? This, because so this picture always does it for me, right? Where's it at? Oh, this one, right?
Why are you looking for that picture? This might be a
Mm.
silly question, but how do they feel about individuals who have converted to Judaism? Or like, what if you are of previous Muslim faith and you convert to Judaism? Or if you're a Palestinian living there and you say, oh, I want to convert to Judaism?
So I think that's cool. So they're the bloodline people above all else, right? Who you're related to. Yeah, I mean, so they welcome converts. So I don't know if y'all saw, but when when the attack first happened, Amari Stoudemire ass was all over social media crying his big blubbery ass, talking about, oh, I don't want to hear nothing about all these people, this, that, and the other. So he lives there. Amari Stoudemire lives in Israel. And so allegedly you're welcome.
He on a basketball team over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, allegedly you're welcome. But if you ever hear about some of the Ethiopian Jews, I did a whole story, I want to say last week or a week before that, about how they're sterilizing the black Jews in Israel.
Oh, right, you did.
Yeah. So just because that's cool, but you ain't us, is how they look at it. Yeah, that's cute. Oh, look, the monkey has a suit on. That's cute. That don't make him a person. That's the feeling I get. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, to me, the entire conflict boils down to this right here. All right. To this right here. This is the entire conflict. When you look at the progression of land going in one direction, and like I said, the idea that they've created open air prisons and that they'll do whatever it takes to maintain that. And dude, the irony, I don't know if y'all caught the irony of these people taking land, taking property, just outright killing people who don't obey them, right? Running people out the country. What does that sound like? What event does that sound like coming from these people?
Are we allowed to say that?
No. But I just want y'all, just the irony though. I just wanted to talk about the irony.
Trail of Tears.
You know what I'm saying? Say it again. So
Trail of Tears.
Funny. So yeah. So to me, this is the entire conflict right here. That one day you own, you had a house and some land, right? And the next day somebody came and took it and was like, nah, this is ours. No more for you. All right. This is it right here. The time-lapse photo. This is it's about 60 years or so. And it's just getting smaller. The grain is getting smaller. Every year the grain gets smaller, day by day. No matter what anybody else says, no matter what the United States says, no matter what the UN says, Britain, any of the Muslim countries, it gets smaller every day.
Are the Palestinians able to leave? Do they have that liberty?
Leave and go where?
I mean, let's just say hypothetically they could get to another country and
Yeah. So I know Palestinians in America. So yeah, there are people that can get out. The question is how you get money to get out. Right. And right. And so and we haven't even talked about the checkpoints, leaving in and out. Like there are like 50 checkpoints. Every time you leave something to go somewhere, there's a checkpoint. When I say it's a prison, it's a prison. Like every time you move around, you have to go through a checkpoint. Right? Yeah, let me see if I can find a map of the checkpoint.
They don't have an airport.
Hmm?
They don't have an airport.
Israel does.
They can't use it.
Yeah, they can use it again. They got to go through. They got to go through all the checkpoints. Got to go through all the checkpoints. But yeah, they can use it. But again, we talking about poor people. You get some money, and they take it. All right. So how do you come up? Let me see. I'm gonna get a map of the checkpoints map. So I get a map. Images for 3,000, Alex. Let's see. All right, here we go. So we can get some checkpoints. Y'all can see, like it's not just we live here, but it's okay. So it's checkpoints everywhere. Checkpoints. All right. Checkpoints. They're testing you out. Like, all right, hold on, see what's going on. What's this? The road system. Oh no. Oh, here we go. So what's this? So here, this is how it's sectioned off. I told you they got roads that go to section off in between each of the places. All right. Checkpoints. Checkpoint. Oh no. All right. Yeah, hold on, let me see. Let's just want to see what the checkpoints look like. Boom, checkpoints. Imagine every time you want to go somewhere, you got to go through a goddamn checkpoint that look like this. And these are just the Palestinian checkpoints. Israelis don't have to go through this. All right. Every time you want to go somewhere, go visit somebody, you got to go through a checkpoint to get out your zone, to get into another zone. You got to get checked, searched. Like it's a thing, man. Checkpoints. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can leave your house. When you leave your house, again, you got patrols in the streets. You're gonna leave out the zone, you got to go through a checkpoint. Gotta have a reason to go where you're going. It low-key reminds me of that TV show Colony. Everybody ever seen Colony about the alien invasion? And they literally split up the world into zones. And in order to go from one zone to another, you have to go through checkpoints. It's wild. But yeah. Any other questions about any of this? Questions? Y'all feel like y'all got an understanding of what's going on over there now?
Yeah.
Anybody not know what's going on? Anybody still confused about, how it's going down? Nah. All right. Good stuff. Like I said, sometimes this subject like this can get kind of tedious. And yeah, it can get kind of tedious a little bit, but I tried to make it kind of as simple as possible. It's a lot more that goes to it. It's a lot more that kind of go to it, but you guys got the broad strokes, right? These people decided that they wanted a land for themselves, and so they manipulated the British government to giving them the rights to it, and they got the rights to it, and they started importing their people and kicking the inhabitants out. It's like it sounds like the same story that happened in America, right? They came and started moving people off the land and just kind of assimilating the land, right? And not only are they taking the land and kicking people out, but they're literally imprisoning them and treating them like trash and killing them. And so when they talk about in the news, they're like, oh, the Palestinians attacked Israel. It's like, did they attack you? Or are they defending themselves? I don't know. What's your definition of attack? Now we got to look at some definitions, right? Got to look at some definitions. I don't know, but yeah. Any questions?
How do you predict what's happening currently going down? Like, what do you think the outcome will be?
So I go back to the dude, what's his name? David Ben Gurion. What did he say? The Arabs will have to go, but one needs an opportune moment for making it happen, such as a war. And so this feels real false flaggy to me, right? An excuse for a war. That's what it feels like. So the question is, who's going to let it happen? Is somebody going to actually step in and be like, yeah, no, you can't do that? Or are they going to use the propaganda machines to turn a blind eye while Israel does what it wants to do? So yeah. So I think David Ben Gurion said it in 37. You know what I mean? The goal is to get them out, but we need a war. This might be the one. So there have been many before this, like skirmishes and stuff. So I think they're just going to keep working their number until they finally get them all out. You know what I mean? That's my prediction. All right, y'all. So, like I said, I hope this was helpful. Yeah, I hope I gave y'all something to kind of a nice little study guide or a Cliff Notes version of why there's no peace in the Middle East, right? So one side wants the land, and the other side's been there forever, and it's their land, and neither is going to be happy living there next to each other. So they both feel like the other one has to go. All right. All right, man. This is cool. So thank y'all for hanging out with us, man. I appreciate everybody on Twitter, YouTube, and Rumble. And I heard the Rumble be there. I heard the Rumble faithful be there faithfully, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We're here every Monday. So around this time, I think we got started a decent time today. I think we got started like 11 o'clock Eastern. So it's a decent time. So like I said, this is pithy. If you like this content, then check out the podcast, Conspiracy Cookout with the Tinfoil Family. Conspiracy Cookout with the Tinfoil Family on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Google, Amazon, all of that stuff. The podcasts are longer. We get into way more detail about a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, YouTube is kind of censoring. Rumble not so much, but you know, Twitter I guess is pretty wide open too. But I guess YouTube is the limiting factor. So, but we appreciate y'all hanging out with us, man. So if you ain't followed if you ain't subscribed to the channel, please do. Share the channel with people that you think might like the content. I try to keep it educational. I don't know if y'all could tell, but I try to keep it educational, even in the realm of conspiracy. Even though I talk about a lot of conspiracy stuff, I try to keep it educational so that you learning something you didn't know. You know what I mean? Just because I like learning stuff I don't know. Like in my spare time, I'm always looking for stuff I don't know. Either that or watching One Piece, which I'm almost over with. But man, thank y'all for hanging out, man. So I'll see y'all on Wednesday. See y'all on Wednesday for a Conspiracy Cookout. All right. I think we're gonna have Dr. B on talking about parasites. So come through. It should be dope. Also, I got my fenbenzidol, so I'm gonna be learning how to take that. So come through. I should have started by then. So if y'all want to hear kind of my tales of my journey, you know, that's a good place to start. All right, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Remember, vigorforpain.com. Also, blackisauniform.com. Check out the astrology teas. I don't know if you're what season are we in? Are we in Virgo season? No, Libra season, man. Yo, go to blackisauniform.com. Check out the astrology teas. If you know a Libra or what's coming up, Scorpios. I think Scorpios coming up, right? We got the talking teas. We got the major looks. We got the sweatpants. We got the hoodies. Like it's just the whole scene, man. So check out blackisauniform.com. Blackisauniform.com. Get your merch today. All right. All right, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.